What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I'll just wait a second or two, let people get in here, join us today. So, yeah, this is a little different than normal. Just gonna do this interesting kind of big tree. Uh, I literally could not find anything that I wanted to paint today, so I saw this tree. I was like, all right, the lighting's nice. Let's do it. So it's literally what I'm going with. I already have it drawn up here. If you guys can see that. It's already drawn. It's happening. Jeremy, Kim, Christine, Matthias, Tomcat, Joyce, John. What's going on? John, why am I getting something on my forehead here today? I don't know why. It's not brighter than normal. I've been drawing since I was, I forgot to turn the light on. I've been drawing since I was a little kid, but I've been painting since 2011-ish. Give me 1 second, guys. Got to turn on a light there to light up my background. No, not that it really matters, but it matters a little bit. Okay, cool. Good to go now. Good to go. I think everything should be good. Does it look like I'm skipping? Am I like skipping frames for some reason? Oh, this one's way in there. Huh? Anyway, look like I'm. Hopefully, it doesn't look like I'm skipping frames to you guys. I'm gonna invest in a new computer very soon. Just needs to be done. Just needs to happen. I just need to do it. Suck it up and just do it because this is getting ridiculous trying to stream like this. Okay, let's just get the painting. Stop complaining, start painting. Just spray on my palette a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely skipping. I don't know why. It's so annoying. Here's my, this is the colors that I use. Just for anyone who's wondering, this is what my palette consists of. So I'll be using some of these to paint with. Okay. Theo, what's happening? MX Jam, Amanda, Mom, what's happening? Jen. Okay, hopefully it'll clear up a little bit. We'll see. I'm just gonna start off with the sky. We'll do a whole, I think we'll do a whole wash of the sky. It seems like the sky is the lightest thing. So I'm gonna wet my paper a little bit first with this spray. Because it's pretty hot in my apartment, so get it wet first. Just getting into ultramarine blue. Just gonna put this down. Put some yellow ochre down here a little bit. Maybe some cobalt teal or viridian as the sky moves downward. Not bad. You know, if I want to bring out like some cloud shapes or something, I can just kind of lightly dab it here and there just to lighten up the sky in some places, but it's not really necessary. It seems fine the way it is. It's a little strong down here. Let's try to get a little more blue down there. Don't want it to be dark though, actually. Just a layer of green there. I just want to get rid of all the white on the paper, you know, for now. So, Andy, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I agree, Jen. Watercolors is it's pretty challenging. You know, it can be intimidating. But you kind of have to just have a plan in your mind of how you're going to go about it and then just do it, you know, just go for it. The only way to improve really is to just do more of it, you know. I'm going to dry this real quick. Only take a minute here. Yeah, just be brave and just go for it, you know. Because that's the only way you're going to improve. You're going to make mistakes no matter what. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. We all make mistakes, especially if you're like doing something new, you're new to something, you're going to make mistakes. It's just exactly how it goes. Johnson, what's going on, bro? SG Johnson, what's happening? Glad you tuned in for the watercolor stream. Yeah, I think the one thing that most beginners, even most artists really, or anybody in life is like should just embrace mistakes, you know? Because you're going to learn from it. That's like sit it like wasting all your time and energy like trying to avoid a mistake or like being afraid to make a mistake. It's like that's silly because we know we all make mistakes. We know it's going to happen. But the important thing, it's not that you made a mistake. The important thing is like, what have you learned? Like, what did you learn from it? Like, that's the most important thing. Because if you just keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over, then you're not really progressing. You're not really improving. So, but don't worry, I make the same mistakes all the time. And that happens too. You're going to repeat some of the same mistakes and you're going to go, oh man, I remember learning that. I should have done that this way. And, you know, sometimes you have to do that a few times before it really sticks. No big deal. But anyway, you guys know. You guys know the deal. Doesn't seem to be skipping as much anymore. It seems like only in the beginning for some reason. I don't know. I'll order a new maybe I'll order a new laptop this weekend because I think it's gonna take like a month. I'm around a month to get one built, I think. Custom one that I want. So I might as well, I think this weekend maybe I'll order a new laptop for my live streams, my business stuff. Oh, and just waste all my money. Okay, there we go, folks. Looks pretty nice. I'm happy about that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think it's really going to come together once I put, you know, once I put more of the painting down. So where do we go from here, folks? I guess we'll do the trunk, you know, the structure of the tree, I guess. And I think maybe while I'm doing that, I'll wash in some light greenery. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just make it up as I go along. Did you think about getting a desktop tower instead? A little easier to upgrade. No, not really, because uh, I need it to be small and portable. With my art setup right here, I would like having a laptop that I can move around if necessary. Also has a built-in webcam. It's just better. It's just better. So I'm looking to keep the next one I get for like 5 or 6 years at least. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to go with, I think. Yeah, I mean I can write it off of my taxes. It's gonna be a business expense, but it doesn't really help much, you know. It's gonna help a little bit, but yeah, there's no way I'm gonna get it for a lower price or for free. No way. But it's all good. I mean, just it's something I have to do. You know, this laptop I'm using is my work laptop I've had since 2015. So it's time to get something new for my business, you know. Invest in myself in these streams and hopefully these streams will be better, you know, for it. Be able to do some different stuff, hopefully. You know, it's just like if I ever want to look up any videos on something or like show you guys something in a video, like I can just do it, you know. Like this, whenever I use this computer, my whole computer just freezes up. I can't even use it. It's like, it's very annoying. Frustrating. But it's all good. You know, we'll get there. We're getting there. So I'm just trying to like draw some branches and stuff that maybe they might show through later on in the painting process. I should probably paint this shadow side anyway. I always forget to do that. Just paint the shadow and the light side because it's watercolor. Wouldn't be my painting if there wasn't some splattering going on during the process. I'm gonna try to stay loose with this because it doesn't need to be like so technical, you know? It'll look more natural if I just, you know, I don't want it to be too chaotic. I want it to be planned out and look natural, but you know, there's gonna be greenery on top of this. It's nature. It doesn't have to be so perfect, you know? Well, nature is perfect, but my painting's not gonna be. Tips for drawing branches. Whenever I try, they become a tangled mess. You're just at a fair with no friends, so I just came to watch you. Cool. Sounds good. Thank you, Specs the Cuber. Hope everything's going well. Tip for drawing branches: just the best thing you can do is just go outside or look out your window and just draw branches from life. Get a lot of studies in. I've done that a few times, and the more you do it, the more you'll understand like how they grow, and sometimes they are a tangled mess, but you got to find kind of, I don't know, the rhythm of them, or like what's the main branches, you know? It's about understanding perspective, you know, things coming towards you, things going away from you, how they grow, how things happen like that. Um, you know, this tree isn't just flat like a flat sheet of paper, you know, it's like this tree is like a globe spherical, it's like a spherical globe. So you got to realize how these kind of branches and things are growing. But the only way to do that is to really just study it from life. That's really the best advice I can give you. When in doubt, just try to find that subject or whatever in life and draw it. Do some sketches. Get a little sketchbook and just draw some little sketches. And then when you have to do like a painting or something or a drawing or something, you can look back at those sketches and see like how branches are made, you know, how they're growing. And I'm using a pretty big brush here for all these little branches and stuff, but you know, it is what it is. You know, this tree is a pretty, see, like this is like a tangled mess right here, but like it needs to be, you know, sometimes a tree is like, it's all overlapping and tangled things happening. It's not a big deal. Anyway, all right, I think that's good enough. Good enough for now. Let's put this grass in. I think having the grass in there now would be a good idea. It's something I can do. Sounds good, Cuber. Have fun with that. Yeah, yeah, go out and sketch SG Johnson. Definitely do that, man. Do it after the live stream, though. After the live stream. I'm just kidding, bro. But yeah, that's really the best thing to do, if I'm being honest. I try to be honest. Let's see. There we go. This one's coming together nicely. We got some strong values here. Any tips on procrastination? I'm scared to start the beard. It's a white beard on white paper. I wasn't able to choose tan paper. Oh, that's tricky. Yeah. I wouldn't focus on the white part of the beard. I would focus on the shadows of the beard. Like look, see if there's any big shadows first. And then if all there is like small little shadows, then try to simplify it in a way to make it look like a bit like a full beard or whatever it looks like. I think you're just procrastinating because you're afraid of it not being good or not being like perfect. So just don't worry about all that and just do it. Just do it. There's no answer to procrastination, you know? It's like you got to just do it. Like something's stopping you from just going for it, you know? So if there's no shadows on the beard or anything, then you got to draw around it. Everything, you got to draw the negative space around it. Yep, sounds good, Amy. We might, if my schedule continues, it seems like we're going to have a critique on Friday, if my schedule continues. But I don't know. That's US Friday, by the way. Friday evening here. Okay, let's do some greenery on the trees. So one thing I've learned with watercolor is that the light part of the, usually the light part of the greenery, for some reason, it's better to just make it more of a yellow, like a yellow-green, rather than putting so much blue into it and making it like a real green. Just doesn't really look right normally. So So it's something I'm playing around with and kind of struggling with sometimes. See, I made this grass really yellow, but it looks naturally green for some reason, even though it was mostly yellow. So I'm gonna do the same thing up here with this tree. And I'm gonna try to like get some good textures and thing for this tree. This tree's greenery. So I'm gonna go more on the yellow side for most of this lighter. Well, actually, I guess I just cover up the whole tree with all the greenery. And then I'll do the shadows on top. I always forget that with watercolor. So I'm trying to paint like a watercolorist today. Trying to paint more like a watercolorist today. It's very rare for me to do, but I'm going for it. Just do a little bit of splattering here. I want this tree to look like it's alive, you know? Little dots and things everywhere. All kinds of texture. Try to leave some nice sky holes back there. So we got some nice areas of sky. It's really beautiful. You know, I could go a bit cooler back here because it's mostly shadow. I could start bringing in a little bit of coolness here just for some variation. But it's not really necessary yet. So this is the light part of the tree, as you guys can see. It's a little too light on the screen there. Let's turn this down. It's about right, I guess. It's probably about right. There is some greenery back here. Just a little bit. Hmm. Glad to hear that, Cuber. Glad my crappy videos from 7 years ago was helpful for you. Hope you enjoy the drawing. That's the most important thing, you know, is enjoy what you do. That's a good, I mean, that's a good idea, Jen. At least draw something small. You know, because sometimes you'd probably be surprised, even though you just draw like a small sphere or something, you might end up be like, ooh, I really want to draw more right now, you know? Might really get into it once you actually start doing something. So it's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea for all the procrastinators out there. Just draw a little bit of something, at least. Or paint. Do something. Create something. Whatever it is. Whatever you like to do. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just whatever you... Everyone's different, so... Just mixing up color here. Trying to get like a cool green. I think I might have made it too cool, though. We'll try it. Looks pretty cool. I'm gonna try to simplify this tree, so... Oh, that's pretty dark, huh? Wow. Why does it look so much darker? Well, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Trying to focus here, guys. So I'm being a little quiet. Just trying to stay focused. That looks pretty wild, right? It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark compared to the light. Oh, it looks darker to you guys because it's wet. You're seeing it like in a... Yeah, look how dark that looks on the screen. It's crazy. It's not black. It's just a dark green. But it's not that dark. You can tell it's green. Yeah, let's spray some of this. It's a little too harsh. A little too hard edges. Let's soften this thing. Maybe that's too soft. Too soft now. We'll just dry this. I don't know, I'm a little worried now. I'm a little worried. This is what happens with watercolor. Get worried in the middle of the process, you know? It's like, oh, is this gonna turn out good? I don't know. I think I got a little too crazy there with some of this. Too much shadow, possibly. That's okay. We'll make it work, hopefully. If not, it'll be a crappy painting. No big deal. Done plenty of those. Got plenty of crappy paintings. So next I'm going to do the shadows on the tree trunk. And I should have done the shadow right down here, actually. That might help a little bit as well, actually. So, a bit of shadow underneath the tree here. Doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Just has to look like a shadow. Nice. It's good enough for me for right now. Yeah, I put too much water on here. See, it's not as dark as it was earlier. I don't know why it looks so dark when I first put it on. Always happens. Okay, that's fine. I'll let that dry. I'm gonna do this shadow on the tree trunk. No big deal. It doesn't have to be, greenery doesn't have to be dry for this. Just need a shadow color. Even if some of that's soft up there, it'd actually be nice. Be nice that it's soft. Doesn't have to be so hard-edged. Yeah, that kind of gives it a sense of light, actually, now that I'm putting these shadows in here. It's kind of what it needed. Probably gonna need some darker greenery as well. Hello, Sharon. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Just attempting to paint a tree today, that's all. Nothing too crazy. Oh, okay. Well, getting pretty close. I think to finish it up, I'm gonna do some darker shadows in the tree, but just dark accents, kind of. But I just need to dry it first. And you draw a jellyfish next video. It's possible. I'm not gonna give any promises, but I will highly consider it. I will highly consider drawing a jellyfish next video. Yeah, so I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. Looks pretty good. This is a little sharp everywhere. Yeah, it looks very different after it's dry, huh? Very different. And really, this shadow shouldn't even be so dark or opaque, but it's all right. We're gonna simplify it today. Let's go with simple. Wonder if there's any trees in this book. I got this, I want to see how to do this greenery. I have this John Singer Sargent book here. I got some other ones in my room, but I want to see if there's any greenery real quick. I don't think there is, but I just want to get an idea how to finish this a little bit better. Uh, so he does some interesting things with his greenery and his shadows and the way he, yeah, these are all buildings. This is all Venice. That's a bummer. Really wanted some greenery. So he'll normally do the shadows very cool looking. Um, and then he'll do, for the darkest darks, he'll do like a warm dark. And I'm wondering how that might look if I do the same thing. Just trying to steal that little aspect of his work. Something that seemed to work really well. Huh, okay. Well, I don't have an example of it, so take it easy, Yami. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, gonna have to go for it, I think. I don't know if I should reinstate some of them. It needs to be a little bit cooler looking almost. It was just so dark earlier, I should have kept it. Should have kept it dark. Glad to hear that, Mary Beth. Over on Facebook, we got some people on Facebook watching. Greatly appreciate it. I'm just not sure how to go about the next part here. Can try it and just try a few spots, I guess. I just wonder, is it going to look like branches? Because I already have branches this color. Or is it going to look like darks of the tree? Am I a fan of Winslow Homer? I don't know a whole bunch of his work, to be honest. Now that you said his name, I can't even really think of anything. But I know I've seen his work. I think I've seen some. He does have watercolors, doesn't he? Doesn't he have a book of watercolors? Well, I remember there being a book. Uh, or does he actually do watercolors? I think he does. He only do watercolors? I remember seeing like a painting of like of a boat that he did in the ocean or something. Hmm. Give me 1 second, folks. I need to go get a book. I need some inspiration right now, and because I'm not confident about what I'm doing here. So give me a second. Ah. Okay, thanks for being patient, folks. Got two books just in case. So I got one here. This one. We've looked at this one a few times before. But I want to look at some of the greenery in it because I'm not very confident. Hopefully there's greenery in this one. Okay, there is. It's a little crazy looking though. Let me try to find something good. You know, we look at other artists' work. You know, this is literally like all his work he ever did. Um, and we always look at it like, oh wow, this stuff's really good, but he actually didn't like a lot of what he did. So always got to keep that in mind. I'm sure there's things that I like of his that he didn't like, but let's see, is there any trees anywhere? Here's some palm trees. He kind of did them a bit differently though. Really just want some regular old trees. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to. I want to get some. Just trying to figure out how to do this. You know, trying to learn here. This is what you have to do sometimes. You know, if you're not sure how to handle something, just go and see how other artists did it. You know, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see. Okay, how did he handle some kind of subject like this? I'm not finding anything very similar. Hmm. Yeah, that's not good. That's really not good. Out of all these thousands of paintings he did, can't find anything similar. You know, I'm finding some greenery, but it's just not enough to give me an idea. Well, you know, I'm not really liking this warm dark. I don't think it works. And it's a little harsh edged, sharp edged. So, gonna have to figure something out here. Try something. Getting some ideas here. But he did greenery very loosely, like really loose, you know? If I try to show you guys this stuff, it's gonna be so small. It's hard for you guys to see. But I mean, you can see his greenery. It's just like very soft compared to everything else in the painting. So a lot of dry brush, you know, just crazy natural looking stuff. So it's hard for me to it's hard for me to say. So obviously, I want to try to make this stuff soft. But anyway, all right, we just go for it. Yeah, I don't use black at all. That's the thing. It's just like a warm dark. It's like a brown. I know it looks black, but it's not really. It's just warm. This is almost black. Looks pretty dark, but I shouldn't have even gone that dark. So let's try something cooler. Let's try a cooler green again. Maybe if I just go with a darker, cooler kind of green, maybe that'll look better. Since it kind of didn't get super cool there. And since I have such like a warm light going on, let's just try to do something cool looking. Thank you guys for being patient. Sometimes I have to do that. Sometimes I have to figure out where am I going or what am I going to do before I just jump into it, you know? And this may not be the right decision, but I'm making a decision and I'm not going to know until I do it, whether it's the right choice or not. So just go for it. Sometimes you have to just go for it. Okay, well, it's pretty overworked tree. It's pretty overworked tree. Let's dry this thing so you guys can actually see the colors here. My camera's not the best, I apologize, but we just work with what we got here. Yeah, it's true. I could go warmer in some areas. I was thinking about that too. Are there some days, in respect of drawing every day, are there some days when you just give a break from that routine, like when you're too tired or sick? No, never. You should draw every single day, no matter what. Yeah, of course, man. If Yeah, of course. It's just trying to keep up the habit as much as possible. You don't want to get into a slump where you're like spend a week not doing it or something, you know. But everyone's different. Some people can do that. Some people can go a week or a few months. I've done it in the past. I'd go many months without drawing, and then I'd jump back into it, and it's fine. It's no big deal. But depends on what your goals are. If your goal is to really improve and really draw as much as possible and do it, then like yeah, you're gonna want to do it as much as you can. So yeah. Anyway, guys, be sure to check out my website, schaeferfineart.com. We got some art for sale on there, watercolors, like the one you're seeing me do today, pen and ink drawings. Definitely check all that out. I also have a support page where you can donate to me, PayPal or Venmo. Trying to get a new computer so I can do some better streams and stuff. So if you want to chip in and help a little bit, any little amount is very helpful. I have a Patreon page. I also have a Bandcamp page where I make music in my free time and stuff. So definitely check all that out. Different ways to support me and what I do here for you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and be sure to hit the like button if you like what you're seeing here. If you're enjoying yourself, hit the like button. Greatly appreciated. So this looks pretty dry. So, well, I think I take off the tape right now. I'm not saying it's done yet, but I know I'm not going to do any big washes that are going to be near the edges. So I'm going to take off the tape just to see what I'm working with here. And if I need to fix anything, I can fix it still. But for now, well, it's interesting that you said that, Jen. Because actually, she said, I'd go cooler in the shadows. Oh, thank you, Kim O, for the $25. It's going to my new computer I'm looking to get. Greatly appreciated. Cool. That's definitely gonna go straight to my computer. I'm gonna order it soon, and hopefully these streams will greatly improve. Hopefully, just with no more dropping out, no more skipping, no more nonsense. Unless it's an internet problem, but it's definitely not an internet problem. It's definitely this computer just does not have enough power to do what I want to do. So greatly appreciate the support. Very, very much. So Jen was saying I'd go cooler in the shadows. Typically, the absence of light in the shadows makes our eyes see more blue tones. But I don't know. I disagree with that. I disagree because when you paint, normally when you paint like an overcast scene and you look into the darkest darks, normally the darkest darks of a painting, you want them to be the warmest thing generally in your painting with the mixtures you create. Usually the darkest dark accents are very, very hot. They're very warm. Because if you do them cool, the only time you're going to see them very cool is if you're doing like a glacier, like some kind of ice where the darker it gets, the cooler it gets. Normally that's not the case here. I wish I could show you some examples. See, actually there's an example right here on the front of this painting. So we see the only reason these shadows are blue here is because they're reflecting the sky. The sky is shining down on them into the shadows. So you're getting a cooler shadow. But underneath there, as you can see, really deep in the recesses where we can't really see as much, you can't see into that shadow, it goes with a warmer tone. So that's kind of what I was talking about with my tree here, like should I do something like that? Because that's kind of what is done generally with paintings and realism and stuff. Wish there were some examples. Let me look at this other book. And I've heard that from other painters as well, that they paint that way. It's normally the case. Normally you only see cooler shadows during the evening time where the light is very, very warm, but even then it's only very cool because you're seeing reflected light from the sky, from the blue sky. That's really what creates the cool shadows. Otherwise, a shadow, if there's nothing. I did an experiment on this many years ago on my channel. I think it's still up. You could probably go check it out. It's shadow experiments. And I basically took different color light bulbs. Like I had a red light bulb, a green light bulb, orange and blue light bulb. And I went to a completely dark room. I went into my bathroom and I shut the lights off completely. It was completely black. And all I did was turn on like a blue light bulb or a red bulb. And I shined it on a white mug, like coffee mug. And I wanted to see what color was the shadow going to be. It was very interesting. It was a black, completely black shadow because there was no other reflected light bouncing around anywhere. And it was an interesting experiment. And then what I did after that, I went into my living room where I had light. It was on an overcast day, and I had just a little bit of daylight coming into the room, not direct sunlight. And I did the same thing. So there was a little bit of light coming in, and I shined the colored light bulbs on this object, and the shadow that was being cast by the object was the opposite color of the light bulb. So if I did like an orange light bulb, the shadow was blue. And then if I did a blue light bulb, the shadow looked orange. And that confirmed in my mind what Nathan just said, warm light, cool shadows. But it was only when the sky was in the, it was when you had a secondary light source that was reflecting into the shadow so you could see the color of it. So basically what I'm saying is all these shadows, it's very difficult to say all this stuff. Like there's different components of a shadow. This is all in shadow, but there's reflected light in the shadow, and then there's dark accents in the shadow. So that's what I'm kind of talking about when I was talking about doing darker areas here that were going to be warm. I wanted them to be the dark accents, which I didn't end up doing. I ended up just doing shadows again. You kind of have light, mid-tone, and shadow here right now. Or light, mid-tone, reflected light, basically. Yeah, it's always, this stuff is so, this is why painting is so crazy and so difficult. Because there's all these different components of light and everything that I'm trying to make it look realistic and believable. It's like drive you nuts, you know? But yeah, you're right in a way, you're right. It would be cooler overall. It's just the smaller, what I was referencing was like the smaller bits of it, just the smaller, darker areas. Like if we look at the reference, kind of on the right side there, kind of right corner of the tree, the right top corner, where it gets a bit darker, where you can't really see the shadows anymore, where it looks black almost. That's kind of the areas I was referencing. These like really darker areas. Oops, sorry. You know, these really darker areas up here. And I still could put those in there, but I don't know that it needs it now. Ah, I wish I could find what I'm looking for in this book. It's really annoying me. I can see a painting, I know exactly what I'm looking for, but I just don't know where. I don't know what book it's in. It's very frustrating. I have like 9 of these books, so sometimes it's hard to find what I'm looking for. Anyway, so that's my painting here. I'm pretty happy with it, I guess. Doesn't look that good on the screen, but I'll try to hold it up. I think my green screen might cut a lot of it out, but looks like a tree, I guess. Not bad. A good representation of a tree, I guess. Have a good one, Matthias. Thanks for tuning in. Wish I could find a stupid painting I'm looking for. Well, this is an interesting example. It's not what I was looking for, but this isn't the one I'm talking about, but this is an interesting example now that I'm seeing it. So this painting, look at the shadows here. I'm not saying this is like a good painting, but it looks realistic. The lighting looks realistic, but it's interesting. He does have cooler, these like ultramarine kind of blue, you know, bits of shadow. But then he has these dark warms, really warm kind of colors. So even though it's, you could technically, I mean, it's really warm light we can see here. So that's pretty interesting. And I'm pretty sure he painted this from life. Somewhere near Greece. Yeah, wish I could find what I'm looking for. He does some really chaotic looking stuff though, but it ends up looking kind of realistic, as chaotic as it turns out to be. It's really nuts. Gosh, I wish I'm looking for like the army. The I've shown it on this stream before. It has like an army. Yeah, these pomegranates are pretty interesting. Look at all the. Let me try to get the glare off of this one. Look at all the warm and cools here. Warm leaves, cool leaves, and then dark underneath everything. But a warm dark. Very interesting. So chaotic. But it looks good. I mean, it looks pretty interesting. I mean, it looks realistic. I've tried painting pomegranates from life like that before a few times, and it's so difficult. Man, I just wish I could find the. That's probably one of my favorite watercolors he's ever painted. At the lesson in warm and cool right there. You can see there's a high quality version of this painting online. It's like a big rectangle. It is nuts, man. That's a lesson in warms and cools, no doubt. Yeah, it was like army person stealing, they were like stealing fruit or something. And there was one with, I think this isn't the right book. It's in one of his last books, and this one isn't one of the last ones. Oh well, sorry folks. I was trying to prove my point here, or just show an interesting painting, an interesting color scheme, but can't find it. It's got too many books, man. I could have swore it was in this one. 1914 and 1925. It's got to be. This is the last book. Maybe it wasn't the last book. I'm determined to find it now. I am determined to find it now because it's driving me crazy. I don't think this is it though. As much as I love this work too. Yeah, look at the greenery here. It's pretty cool. So simple. Look at his marks. There's a woman there on the beach. Such simple stuff, man. 13 by 20 inches. Just really solid color scheme, you know? Anyway, I'll stop boring you guys to death. Ah. I want to see, I want to look at my, I'm going to get off here soon, folks, but thanks for tuning in. We did this in less than 1 hour, so not bad. Not a bad little sketch. I want to find the pomegranates I painted. Was it 2019? Nope, it was 2018. Yeah, here's my pomegranate. That was my first attempt at some pomegranates, which went terribly. But you see, I still got the similar shapes. But the thing is, these like dark shapes is actually like they're not leaves, it's behind the leaves. I was trying to get these light shapes to be the leaves. So difficult. Same thing here. More pomegranates didn't really work out. I think I gave up after that. I got more of the color right on the pomegranates, but still was pretty challenging painting it from life. Didn't really get what I wanted. Those were my attempts. Here's some tree. You can see the warm versus cool here. This is as the sun was going down. Let's see, do I have any other greenery in here? This is all in shadow. I do have a palm tree in here that's really good, I think. Yeah, here we go. There's warm versus cool right there. That's some colors I could have used. Is there anything similar? See, I didn't really go cool enough. I didn't go cool enough in my cools here. I should have went much cooler to really give that light effect. That's why these plein airs, man. I painted this from life. That's why I should have referenced these. That's why it's so important to do these plein airs. I mean, I got the light pretty close. It's just I didn't go cool enough. If I would have went a little bit cooler, it would have had a little more dramatic looking, you know. But anyway, lesson learned, you know. Lesson learned. Cool looking back at these, man. It's been a while. Painted these 3 years ago. From life. These are all from life. Just a little. Probably one of my best from life as well. You guys want to see something cool? Show you guys I'll show you guys uh show you guys something real quick. Thou shalt not steal, 1918. Yeah, I think that's 1918. See, it should be in that book. 1914 to 1925. It should be in this book. I want to show you guys something cool with this one. About this painting. Let me see. I want to see if I can find it in the table of contents here. I don't really have table of contents. Chronology. Yeah. No table of contents. Oh, it is in this book. Here it is. 225. Found it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, empty tomb. Glad you remember that one. 225. We found it. Oh, yes. This is it. You're a genius. You're a genius. Okay. This is what I wanted to show. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I'll show you guys something cool about this in a minute. But first, this is what I've been looking for. So here's one idea. So unfortunately my camera doesn't really show the colors that great, that well. But if we study this thing a little bit, we can see that all the shadows he used here, the dark, really dark shadows are warm. And then see how the cool, he goes really cool though, for some of the coolness. Yeah, it's really interesting. Just when I think like I'm going too cool, it's like I didn't go cool enough. It always happens like that. If I would have just gone a little bit cooler, I'd have more of a drastic. But this is the painting I was looking for that I was thinking about because it has such an interesting color harmony. You can see here like the really dark darks. There's a lot of coolness. There's warm underneath, warm light, cooler shadows, and then like warm darks. You know, these darks over here are all warm. Hard to see, but anyway, if you look it up on Google, it's called Thou Shalt Not Steal. You can find some of these. But here's a nice one showing warm and cool again. But see the really dark darks in here, these are all warm. These are all brown. These are all brown, but these are the reflected light kind of shadows are very cool. Same thing again here. Yeah, I really love these color schemes that he's able to do. It's like he was using a very limited palette or something, you know? It's like he was using like some kind of emerald green, yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, and like burnt sienna or something, you know, some kind of brown. It's like everything's very limited. Although there's a little bit of purple kind of, yeah, maybe he mixed this brownish red with the blue, ultramarine blue. Nope, can't really show these naked people. But, you know, you can see the warms and cools here, though. You know, warm areas and the cooler greens and the warmer greens. It's very interesting. It is really cool colors. Like I wish I would have. I want to incorporate some of that kind of stuff into my paintings. So here we can see my. I did get some interest. Like I love this part of the painting. I love this part. This part's a little meh. A little overdone. But there's a lot of freshness here in this kind of area. You know, if I could get rid of this part, if I could redo this part of the painting, or at least this little part, I'd feel better. Um, but this painting isn't bad. It's just different. Like if I had to repaint this thing, I would do it differently. But what is the benefit of doing a study? Try to replicate how the master did it, temperature, etc. Yeah, I mean it's you can. There's no. That's a good question. There's no set reason of why to do a study. You can do it for any reason. If you want to just uh, try to, I've done studies in the past for many different reasons. I'll show you guys one study. I always show this one. This is the John Singer Sargent study, the guy I was just showing you. This is one study of his painting. I did this one just for the colors. I wasn't interested in the drawing. I wasn't interested in like, uh, how he drew things or whatever. Because the painting he did was very actually bigger and detailed. Um, so sometimes you can do a study to try to replicate it as detailed as you can and make it look exactly like the master painting. And it's kind of just testing your abilities in a way. Or, um, you can do it for temperature and color. You can do it for the drawing. You can do it for composition. You can do it for any reason. So there's many different reasons you could do a study. Um, but it all just depends. But see, I could have even used this kind of lighting for this. That's something I need to do more. I need to look at these plein air. So I want to show you guys something cool about this. I did this painting once before. I got to go get the sketchbook. Give me like 5 seconds. Okay, I believe it's in this sketchbook. So this is pulp paper. It's not cotton. This one's Arches cotton paper. Doesn't really matter, but I want to show you guys. These are just a few months apart. So this is the second time I attempted to paint this. I'll show you guys the first attempt I did, if I can find it. These are pretty cool. I did these from Life. This is Mount Lassen up north. It's about 3 hours away from me. And this is a nice lake. If you guys see, I made a post on Instagram about this 2 years ago. If you scroll through my Instagram, I matched the water like almost perfectly. Like I held this up to the landscape, and the values are like in color is so close. It's really cool to see it. Um, Sorry, folks, I'm getting distracted here. Let me see. Here we go. So look at the difference here. This is what practice, a little bit of practice, a little bit of slight difference in materials. So this is the first attempt that I did. I'll show you guys closer. So this was the first attempt I made. This was July 20th, 2018. Little pond area, tree. You guys can see the same thing. And then this is a few months later, probably this is sometime in September or October. So just a few months later, this is what I was able to do. Both of them were painted on location, same exact spot, almost probably same time of day. You can see by the shadows, same time of day. But you can see a difference in my light. I got more warmth in there. You know, I looked at this one and I could tell what was wrong with it. The light's just too cool looking. It's not dark enough. You could see the way that the paper doesn't really absorb the water as well, so you get a lot of hard edges. You know, it's really easy to get a lot of hard edges. But with trees, you want them to be a little bit softer where you can. Um, got a nice subtle shadow here going on the surface of the pond. That's my favorite part of this thing. But yeah, so there you go. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, just showing a difference in a few months. And you can see here I did kind of the same thing. I like this painting, but you can see I'm just missing that warmth. It's almost like I could glaze over this, over the light areas and really get this kind of warmth in there that looks a little more realistic, you know, something like this. Normally trees are actually a bit darker than we think, you know, and this I painted it way too light. Way too light for trees. Usually grass is a bit lighter and trees are going to be a bit darker like this. So anyway, guys, thought that'd be cool to show you guys here at the end of the stream. I like looking through my old plein air work every once in a while, just to see where I've started from, you know. Some of these were pretty good. I mean, they have a lot of potential. It'd be cool to go back to these locations and try to paint the same thing again, you know. Kind of like what I did there, but go back there nowadays. Some palm trees here and a little gate. That's one of my favorite ones, this gate. Some morning glories, some geese. But yeah, this is one of my first plein air sketchbooks, kind of crappy paper. But the paper don't let the paper be your limitation, you know. You can still create some cool looking things from life, even though the paper kind of sucks, you know. Doesn't mean you have to create some crappy art, you know. You can still be pretty good. These were all in a row. This was as the sun was going down, so I painted it once, and then I painted it again, and then after the sun had went behind the mountains. So this was all like in a matter of like 25 minutes, 20 minutes. A lot of warmth here. A lot more warmth, and then it gets cooler up here. So pretty cool to see the progression. And I never finished this sketchbook because I ended up getting new, better paper. So, anyway, guys. It actually started out, I don't know if I've ever really shown this sketchbook that much. I started out doing full pages, and I would kind of, this was the beginning of my journey with watercolor plein air. I was a little overwhelmed. So I did a few full page ones that were pretty good. And I decided, like, not that great. Kind of okay. I kind of decided that I want to do half pages of these. So that's when I started doing half pages. This was documenting a wildfire that happened in Yolo County near Davis. So this same exact spot, I'll show you. So if you guys took note of that, this is the same exact spot where this wildfire is happening as this sunset. So see the hill there in the distance? Same exact spot I would go to. Painted there a lot. This one's a little too dark for the smoke. This one's a little bit more matching the values. Just something cool. This is the sun behind all this smoke from earlier. It's like really pink, really red sun. But anyway, there's my nonsense. My sketchbook. Hope you guys enjoyed that little detour. I'm sure everybody left already by now. Most people left. So the name, yeah, Sargent's definitely probably my biggest influence when it comes to this stuff. You know, I don't want to paint like him. You know, I want to paint like myself. I want it to look like I painted it. You know, I'm not trying to replicate how he paints or everything, but taking little things here and there. You know, like basically just making this cooler, you know, stuff like that. But it doesn't need to look like his paintings. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think you're right, Nathan. Maybe a few more sky holes. I had them in the beginning, and then when I did the second this layer, that second layer, I kind of ruined it. Definitely ruined it. And I knew that at the time, but nothing you could do. I can always just try to repaint it again, you know. It was fun. It was a fun one to paint though. So the name of the person on eBay, it's on eBay. You type in their name, Ran2424, I think. RAN 2424. Somebody confirm that for me. If you go to eBay and type in, or just Google, type in eBay Ran 2424, or just type in like Ran 2424 Arches sketchbooks. They should pop up. That's who I've gotten the sketchbooks from in the past. So anyway, my stomach is starting to growl, folks. I got to get off here. Thank you, Anina. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good evening. Take care. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, folks, be sure to check out my website, schaeferfineart.com. Got some drawings and watercolor paintings on there, like the ones you saw today and some other stuff. I also have a support page where you can donate to me if you want to do that. It's all up to you. But check out the music I create as well. And I'm working on an album right now. Got it planned out. It's going to be like a piano kind of. Going to be a lot of different sounds in it, but not really hip-hop stuff. It's going to be different. So yeah, I got some cool ideas. But anyway, have a good night. Take care of yourself.